Hello YouTube, internet, Instagram world. My name is Micah Lee. I am a performer that has worked with 20th Century Home Entertainment as Edward Scissorhands for the 25th anniversary release, as well as Beetle House Los Angeles as Edward Scissorhands for several years. This started as a cosplay and it's kind of turned into a job. So I thought I would show you today how I do my makeup and what products I use. So let's take a look. So you'll want to start with a clean and moisturized face. I like to put extra moisturizer around my eyebrows and on my eyelids, just because that does make it easier to take the eyebrow covers off after the fact. So I will begin by applying Prozaid around my eyebrows, not in the hair, but in the space around it. Prozaid is a skin-safe adhesive primarily used for prosthetics. I buy my Prozaid at Friends in North Hollywood, which is just the word Friends spelled without the I. If you live in a place that does not have access to effects makeup stores, you can buy it online. Just a quick Google search will probably give you some results, but Friends does have a website as well. I do 2 layers of Prozaid just to be extra safe. Prozaid works sort of like rubber cement, where you actually want it to dry before you use it. So while that's drying, I usually cut out the covers for my eyebrows. I personally use recycled latex gloves. I made a template of my eyebrows using a clear plastic sandwich bag, and then used that to make a pattern out of a piece of cardstock or junk mail or something to lay on the latex gloves. I'm using a silver Sharpie, but I need a better one. But that is in fact what I'm doing. I find that the latex closest to the wrist of the glove is thinner and the best part of the glove to use. So once you have your latex eyebrow covers and your Prozaid has dried thoroughly, which you'll be able to tell if it's clear and there are no white spots, then you can carefully adhere the eyebrow covers to the Prozaid. You don't need to put any glue on the eyebrow covers themselves. They'll stick to the Prozaid that's on your face. Just do it very gingerly and very carefully, because as soon as that latex touches that Prozaid, if you try to take it off, it's going to take the Prozaid with it. Obviously, you're going to want to avoid as many wrinkles as possible, but this is flat latex and it's not molded to the shape of your face, so there are going to be some wrinkles that you're just going to have to live with. So now that you have 2 big black splotches on your face, or whatever color your latex gloves happen to be, we're going to have to cover those up. So I used 2 different colors of Melpax cream. And again, these are effects makeup products that, if not available to you in a local store, they are available online. I start with the deep mauve color, and that will help conceal the dark black and help it blend into my natural skin color a little bit better. To apply it, I use a standard makeup wedge that you can buy anywhere, Target, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. But I pinch off pieces of it so that it's not a perfectly unnatural flat surface. And again, it's easier to blend that into your skin. The second color I use is light peach. And this isn't going to be perfectly blended to my skin tone, as you can see, but it will make it easier to conceal with the final makeup, more so than just trying to apply it to the black latex. The Melpax is a lot like the Prozaid in the sense that it has an elasticity to it that will move with your face rather than wanting to crack or peel. Here I'm going back with a toothpick that I've put a little bit of Prozaid on to patch up a little corner of the latex that didn't get glued down properly. Now we're going to move on to the scars. I just put the tip of the toothpick into the Prozaid and then roll it gently onto my face. I patterned out where all of the scars are located on his face and the general shape of them. I start using more of the same Prozaid I used on the eyebrows, but just for the scars that are on or around my mouth area, because that is the part of your face that ends up moving the most, and the scars have a tendency to want to peel or fall off. And once again, you'll want that to dry completely and be clear before you apply the scars to it. Having some kind of fan at your disposal during this process is very beneficial. So now we're going to move on to the actual scars. The base of the scars, or the primary sort of ingredient, is just a regular Elmer's washable skull glue stick. This is their sort of disappearing purple version, which I don't prefer, but sometimes you don't have a choice. I do recommend buying Elmer's brand specifically. This is not a paid ad, but I've bought off-brand before and it just does not cream the same way. It just gets very clumpy and not smooth at all. So I do recommend Elmer's brand glue stick. So I'm creaming this in my hand using a makeup spatula, but if you don't have one, you can use something like a butter knife. I'm going to mix just a little bit of CoverGirl Clean Matte number 510 Classic Ivory into the glue, just so that when it's dry, it is a little bit of a flesh tone and not a stark white glue color. And again, here the key is just to blend and blend until it is a nice creamy consistency. So now I use the same toothpick I used for the Pros-Aid because waste not, want not. And I just roll it in the glue and then gently roll that onto my skin where the scars go. And because it's glue, it will self-adhere to your face. You just want to make sure that it has really good contact to your face. So really hold the toothpick down and make sure you're rolling it directly onto your skin. And there isn't excess oils or sweat that might be getting in its way. I especially pay attention to the points on either end to make sure that those are flat and connected to the skin so they're less inclined to peel off. He's got a couple of teardrop scars, but I forgot that the one is supposed to be like wishbone shaped. Oops. So I start with all the scars that are not the Pros-Aid scars first, just to give the Pros-Aid extra time to dry, and then I do those, once again, around the mouth area last. And you'll want to make sure that you're really hitting it right where the Pros-Aid is, so you kind of have to catch it in the light to see and make sure you're in the right spot. I will say that I've been doing this a long time, and hopefully I'm making this look easy, but it's probably going to take some practice, and you'll want to do some practice runs of these scars to get the hang of getting them on in a clean and effective way, because it took me a long time. So now that your scars are done, you're going to have to give them some time to really dry before you start putting makeup on top of them. So once again, that handheld fan will come in handy. If you have trouble with some of them wanting to peel or buckle in the middle, a little Pros-Aid can help. Once the scars are dry and before I put any cream makeup over them, I highlight them with Revlon purple eyeshadow. The actual color is plum and it is a matte. Any regular makeup that I buy, I try to avoid anything with mica or any kind of shimmer or glisten to it, since this is supposed to be a natural looking makeup. So I just highlight each scar using the purple eyeshadow. Either side doesn't really matter. You just don't want them to get lost in the rest of the makeup. So now that you're done with the effects makeup, you're ready for the actual makeup to go on top of it. I use 2 cream makeups to get the color that I want for Edward. Both of them are Mehron Cream Blend sticks. I start with a Butterfly Geisha, which is basically the palest white, and just try to cover everything evenly, including my neck and ears. Any of this cream makeup going on your face, you want to dab it on rather than any kind of rubbing motion, because that will take off your scars immediately. But in the event that you do have some issues with your scars or some of them want to come off, again, you can use a little Pros-Aid on a toothpick to remedy that. Assuming the scars are good and dry on your lips, before I put any more makeup on them, I just put on some chapstick to make sure they're well moisturized so that the makeup on my lips goes on nice and smooth. And once that layer's done, I add a second layer of the Mehron Cream Blend stick, but this time in light olive, which is too dark on its own, but blended on top of the Geisha Butterfly, it actually gets the color that I want. People often seem to think that Edward has a ghost white face with black eyes and black lips. But if you look at the really well-lit scenes and close-ups of his face, it is actually a flesh tone, and the eyes are more of a brown maroon color. So it's really all about lighting. So now that the base is fully on, we're going to move on to eyes and lips. The base for the upper eyes and the lips, I start with Ben Nye's Cream Colors CL-15 Maroon. And I just use my finger because it works, and why not? Edward has that sort of sad puppy dog eye. I generally try to keep the point of that sad eye parallel with the inside corner of my eye. And I use that same Ben Nye Maroon cream for the base of my lips. And that is kind of a Cupid doll geisha look in the middle, to start with anyway. So we're done with the maroon, and we're going to move on to the same brand of Ben Nye Cream Colors makeup, but this time the color is CL-11 Cinnamon. And I'm going to do the exact same thing over the eyes, just in this different color, and you're going to want to make sure that it's even, that you're in all of the crevices and cracks of the eyebrow covers, your eyelids, and just make sure that it's nice and smooth and blended, and that the edges are nice and soft and not too harsh. Because again, this is supposed to look natural, like it's naturally occurring. And then the same thing on the lips over the maroon, but I really try to soften the edges and make it not look too geisha-like and have it kind of gradually fade into the edges of his mouth. So now we're going to do the lower half of Edward's eyes using that same Ben Nye Cinnamon color. Using an angle brush, I basically follow the curvature of my eyeball under the skin, because his eye makeup doesn't come all the way up to the edge of his eyelid, which gives him that sort of big-eyed, sad, innocent look. I make the line under my eyes really thick so that I can smudge it down afterwards. Again, just using my finger, trying to keep the inside line dark and precise, but the lower part of the line pulling out and blending it into the rest of the makeup and the maroon above it. And the eye makeup really only extends to about the top of your cheeks. So your eyes and lips are done now. This is going to be the final touch, which is just a little bit of shading for your cheeks and your jawline. For that I use the same brand and product as I used for the scar highlights, only this time the color is cocoa and it's satin. And you just want to lightly put it on your brush and then blend it into the makeup. You don't want it to be too harsh, you want it to be subtle, and then you'll just follow the lower side of your jawline and blend that out and down your neck. So now that all of my makeup is done, the final step is to seal it with a setting spray. I use a NYX brand matte finish setting spray, and that's available pretty much anywhere. Once that's dry, everything will be pretty in place and good to go. At this point, if and when you sweat, you'll just want to use some kind of cloth or paper towel and gently dab any part of your face that is moist. Just never rub anything. And that's it. Now you can pop on that wig, throw on that very complicated costume, and have that Edward Scissorhands look. If you found this tutorial helpful, I would love to know in the comments, or tag me on Instagram or wherever you are. You can find me on Instagram at Micah's Costumes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is helpful. I hope it's beneficial. Good luck cosplaying. This took me a long time to figure out, and I'm more than happy to share it with all of you.